All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Lalema Aneja Dang and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Bundelkhand Expressway at Kaitheri village in Jalaun district of Uttar Pradesh this morning. Lok Sabha Speaker convenes all-party meeting today ahead of monsoon session of Parliament beginning Monday. PDP Chief Mehbooba Mufti's sister Rubaiyah Saeed identifies Yasin Malik as a kidnapper in 1989. Central Teacher Eligibility Test CTET to be conducted in December this year. Ranil Wickremesinghe sworn in as interim president of Sri Lanka. US decides not to impose sanctions against India under its stringent law for purchase of S-400 missiles from Russia. And in badminton, PV Sindhu to face Saina Kawakami of Japan in women's singles semi-finals of Singapore Open today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate Bundelkhand Expressway at Kaitheri village in Urai Tehsil of Jalaun district in Uttar Pradesh today. Prime Minister had laid the foundation stone of Bundelkhand Expressway on the 29th of February 2020. It passes through 7 districts: Chitrakoot, Banda, Mahoba, Hamirpur, Jalaun, Auraiya and Etawah. Here's more from our correspondent.
The 296 kilometers 4-lane expressway has been constructed at the cost of around 14,850 crores. It can later be expanded up to 6 lanes as well. It extends from NH35 at Gonda village near Bharatkoop in Chitrakoot district to near Kudrail village in Etawah district, where it merges with Agra-Lucknow expressway. The expressway will have 4 railway bridges, 18 big bridges along with 286 small bridges. Provision of rainwater harvesting has also been made at every 500 meters on the expressway. The 4th expressway project in Uttar Pradesh has been completed in record 28 months, which is 8 months ahead of its deadline. Along with improving connectivity in the region, the Bundelkhand Expressway will also give a major boost to economic development, resulting in the creation of thousands of jobs for the local people. Work on the creation of industrial corridor in Banda and Jalaun districts next to the expressway has already been started. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Jalaun.
Talking to All India Radio News, Union Minister of State, Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Bhanu Pratap Singh Verma said,
बुंदेलखंड में देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री जी आज पधार रहे हैं और उन्होंने बुंदेलखंड को प्राथमिकता के आधार पर रखा है और 8 साल में कनेक्टिविटी से जोड़ा है, उद्योग धंधों में बढ़ोतरी हो, डिफेंस कॉरिडोर दिया है, कैन बेतवा दी है और साथ ही साथ में हर घर नल की योजना के साथ बड़ी प्राथमिकता के आधार में बुंदेलखंड में काम किए जा रहे हैं। विशेष कृपा है बुंदेलखंड के ऊपर और वो बुंदेलखंड में हर वो काम करना चाह रहे हैं, सिंचाई के लिए साधन दे रहे हैं, सारी चीजें 8 साल में देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री जी ने बुंदेलखंड एक्सप्रेसवे और कैन बेतवा सिंचाई के लिए कैन बेतवा से जब लिंक जुड़ जाएगा तो बुंदेलखंड पूरा हरा भरा हो जाएगा।
Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla has convened an all-party meeting today ahead of the monsoon session of Parliament beginning Monday. During the meeting, Mr. Birla will seek support of political parties to ensure smooth functioning of the House. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu has also called a meeting of floor leaders of different parties in the upper house on the 17th of this month. An all-party meeting has also been convened by the government on the same day to seek cooperation from all political parties. The monsoon session will continue till the 12th of August. The session is important given the fact that the presidential election and the vice presidential election will be held during this period. The presidential election will also be held on Monday, while the vice presidential election will be held on the 6th of next month.
PDP Chief Mehbooba Mufti's sister Rubaiyah Saeed has identified Yasin Malik and 3 others as her kidnapper in 1989 in Jammu and Kashmir. Rubaiyah Saeed is also the daughter of late former Union Home Minister Mufti Muhammad Saeed. Rubaiyah Saeed implicated Yasin Malik before Tada Court in Jammu. Anil Sethi, a PDP spokesperson and advocate, said Rubaiya Saeed has identified Yasin Malik and all other abductors in the court. The statement of witness Rubaiya Saeed was recorded in court yesterday. Proceedings of the court are being held on camera. Next date of hearing is the 23rd of next month. In the year 1989, Rubaiya was kidnapped by Jammu and Kashmir Liberation Front JKLF, which was headed by Yasin Malik. At that time, her father Mufti Muhammad Saeed was the Home Minister of the country. JKLF had demanded the release of 5 of its members in exchange for Rubaiya's release. Then J&K Chief Minister Farooq Abdullah accepted their demands in agreement with the centre, and the jailed militants were released. The 75-day COVID vaccination Amrit Mahotsav commenced from yesterday to provide free precaution dose to all eligible population at government vaccination centres. The special drive aims to increase the uptake for the precaution dose of COVID vaccine among the eligible adult population. Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia said this special drive is part of the celebration for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने 15 जुलाई से 75 दिन तक प्रिकॉशन डोज देश के सभी 18 एवो नागरिक को फ्री किया है। इस उपलक्ष्य में हेल्थ मिनिस्ट्री के सभी एम्प्लॉइज को प्रिकॉशन डोज देने के लिए स्पेशल सेंटर चालू किया गया है। सभी लोग प्रिकॉशन डोज लगा रहे हैं। देश के सभी 18 एबो नागरिकों को मेरा आग्रह है कि आप भी प्रिकॉशन डोज लगाइए।
India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 199 crore 69 lakh mark. More than 20 lakh 98,000 vaccine doses were administered yesterday. Union Health Ministry said that more than 6 crore 39 lakh vaccine doses have been administered to the children in the age group of 12 to 14 years so far.
Kerala government has stepped up vigil to prevent the spread of monkeypox, issuing special alerts to 5 districts a day after the state reported the country's first case of monkeypox. State Health Minister Veena George said a special alert has been issued to 5 districts as people from Thiruvananthapuram, Kollam, Pathanamthitta, Alappuzha and Kottayam were co-passengers of the infected person in the Thiruvananthapuram-bound flight from Sharjah that landed in the capital on Tuesday. The minister said that isolation facilities will be set up in all these districts. The Central Teacher Eligibility Test CTET will be conducted in December this year. The exact date will be declared later. The Central Board of Secondary Education CBSE highlighted that the 16th edition of CTET will be conducted in CBT, that is computer-based test mode, in 20 languages throughout the country. CBSE described the application fee for the general and OBC category is 1,000 rupees for one paper, while 500 rupees for SC, ST and differently abled person categories. It said 1,200 rupees will have to be paid by general and OBC category for 2 paper, while 600 rupees for SC, ST and differently abled person categories for the same. CBSE stated that the detailed information bulletin containing details of examination, syllabus, languages, eligibility criteria, examination fee, examination cities and important dates will be available on CTET official website, which is ctet.nic.in shortly. CBSE advised the aspiring candidates to download the information bulletin from the above-mentioned website only and read the same carefully before applying.
The Ministry of Rural Development has cautioned the general public against fraudulent claims by an organization purportedly carrying out recruitment in the name of the ministry. The ministry in a statement said that the National Rural Development Mission NRDM.in, claiming to have its office at National Rural Livelihoods Mission, Jaising Road, New Delhi, an alternate operational address as 12 Lodhi Road and contact number 8375999665 does not work under the purview of Ministry of Rural Development. The ministry has warned that any recruitment activities undertaken by NRDM perpetrated purportedly in the name of this ministry or its officials may be considered fraudulent and do not have any endorsement. Ministry of Rural Development has said that it does not it does not charge any fee at any stage of its recruitment process or other fee or request information on applicants' bank accounts. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has invited people to share the ideas and suggestions for Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio, which will be broadcast on the 31st of this month. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said he is looking forward to their comments on the Namo app and MyGov. He said people can also dial the toll-free number 1-800-117800 and record their message. It will be the 91st episode of the monthly radio program. The phone line will remain open till the 28th of July. People can also give a missed call on 1922 and follow the link received in SMS to directly give their suggestions to the Prime Minister.
All India Radio News has launched a weekly interactive program, Abhyas, for competitive examinations. It is aimed at reaching out to students and job seekers preparing for competitive examinations. The program is in Hindi and is broadcast every Saturday between 9:30 and 10 p.m. Every week a subject is chosen. Students can ask questions through WhatsApp or email, and a guest speaker or an expert responds to their queries. Questions on each subject are selected on the basis of crowdsourcing from students across the country. The program also includes segments like Explainer, Fact File, Examination Calendar and Question of the Week. The 16th episode of the program will be aired today. The topic for this episode is sociology. All India Radio News has got an overwhelming response for the show with questions received from across the country. Dr. Rabindra Kumar, Professor, School of Social Sciences, Indira Gandhi National Open University, IGNOU, will be responding to the queries of the aspirants. This episode of Abhyas will be on air on 100.1 FM Gold at 9:30 p.m. today. You can access it on Twitter at AIR News Alerts or on AIR News official YouTube channel and also on the News on AIR app. Also, for the next episode on the 23rd of July, the subject chosen is Public Administration. Students can send their queries on WhatsApp number 928-909-4044 or mail on Abhyas, that is abhyas.air@gmail.com. The deadline for submission of questions is 20th of July. So join us at All India Radio News for the Abhyas every Saturday at 9:30 p.m. on 100.1 FM Gold.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Bundelkhand Expressway at Khaitheri village in Jalan district of Uttar Pradesh this morning. Lok Sabha Speaker convenes all-party meeting today ahead of monsoon session of Parliament beginning Monday. PDP Chief Mehbooba Mufti's sister Rubaiya Saeed identified Yasin Malik as her kidnapper in 1989. Central Teacher Eligibility Test CTET to be conducted in December this year. Ranil Wickremesinghe sworn in as the interim president of Sri Lanka. US decides not to impose sanctions against India under its stringent law for purchase of S-400 missiles from Russia. And in badminton, PV Sindhu to face Saina Kawakami of Japan in women's singles semi-finals of Singapore Open today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 870-001-4242 पर
870-001-4242।
Sri Lankan Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has been sworn in as the interim president after Parliament Speaker Mahinda Abeyewardena accepted the resignation of Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Wickremesinghe was appointed as the acting president by former President Rajapaksa on July the 13th after the latter fled to the Maldives due to massive protests demanding his resignation. Gotabaya Rajapaksa submitted his resignation letter after arriving in Singapore, officially vacating the post of president. Rajapaksa's resignation comes after thousands of people stormed into the president's house in Colombo last Saturday. In a big relief for India, the US has decided not to impose sanctions under its stringent law countering America's adversaries through Sanctions Act CAATSA for purchasing S-400 missile systems from Russia. After New Delhi's purchase of the S-400 air defense system, there was a threat of US sanctions, but the Indian government had always been confident of bypassing these. This has been made possible as the US House of Representatives passed a legislative amendment waiving off any punitive sanctions on India under CAATSA. The move comes after US House of Representatives approved Indian origin Congressman Ro Khanna's amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act on Thursday. Reacting to the development, Ro Khanna said the move will further strengthen US and India's defense partnership.
No relationship of greater significance to the United States strategic interest than the U.S.-India partnership. It is necessary to affirm democracies. It is necessary to stop China's border aggression. It's necessary for us to lead in critical technologies. This gives a sense that while we're building this relationship, we should not be sanctioning India under TATSA, and it also will help facilitate the India getting more of their defense from the United States and not Russia.
And now let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
The Hindu Widow Remarriage Act, passed on the 16th of July 1856, legalized the remarriage of widows in all jurisdictions of India under British rule. Drafted by Lord Dalhousie and passed by Lord Canning, it was the first major social reform legislation after the abolition of sati in 1829 by Lord William Bentinck.
Polygyny and child marriage were common practices in Bengal in the early decades of the 19th century. Girls were typically married off at a very early age and often to much older men. Consequently, young widows came to constitute a large proportion of the population. These widows were typically condemned to a life of harsh austerity. A number of social reformers tried to address these issues.
The Widow Remarriage Association, which was created in 1856, was started by Vishnu Shastri Pandit. Karsondas Mulji, a prominent figure in this field, started the Satya Prakash in Gujarati in 1852 to promote the remarriage of widows. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was one of the most prominent campaigners, and he petitioned the Legislative Council. On the 4th of October 1855, Vidyasagar sent a petition signed by 987 individuals to the government and subsequently organized an extensive campaign. Vidyasagar used Vedic literature to demonstrate that the Hindu faith permitted widow remarriage.
The Act validated and regulated Hindu widow marriages. It recognized a remarried widow's rights and inheritance as if she had married for the first time. The Act also legally protected males who married a widow. The first marriage took place in North Calcutta on the 7th of December 1856 when the Hindu Widow Remarriage Act was passed. The groom was Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar's close friend's son.
We also remember freedom fighter Uma Dutt, who was martyred on the 16th of July 1939. A resident of district Shimla, Himachal Pradesh, Uma Dutt took part in agitation against the ruler of Dhami state, demanding the establishment of a responsible government and the removal of hardship of the state's people. On the 16th of July 1939, when the people were demonstrating with the national flag, suddenly the state police snatched it away and set it ablaze. This act caused a mass fury and resulted in the police firing on unarmed agitators. Uma Dutt was killed in the firing on the 16th of July 1939. All India Radio News salutes the great daughter of the nation.
We also remember independence activist Seetal Singh, who took part in the First War of Independence in 1857. Singh was serving the English East India Company Army in Sindh, now in Pakistan, but left it during the uprising and participated in attacking and ransacking British establishments. He also offered financial help to his fellow activists and encouraged them to go all out to overthrow the oppressive foreign rule.
Seetal Singh was captured in the course of a confrontation with the company army in the Sindh area and charged with desertion and mutiny against the British authorities. He was sentenced to transportation for life on the 18th of June 1857 and sent from Bombay to the Andaman Islands in April 1858, where he died in detention on the 16th of July 1858. AIR News salutes the brave son of the soil.
And that brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
As a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The next question of Amrit Mahotsav quiz will be shared with the listeners on Monday, the 18th of July. Celebrate 75 years of India's independence by participating in Amrit Mahotsav quiz with AIR News. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur has launched the promo of a new serial, Swaraj, Bharat ke Swatantrata Sangram ki Samagra Gatha in New Delhi. This serial is going to be telecast on Doordarshan from the 14th of August this year. The 75-episode serial will highlight the contribution of the freedom fighters and the unsung heroes of the freedom struggle. This serial will also be broadcast on All India Radio. Mr. Thakur launched the serial logo at the Akashvani Bhavan in New Delhi. Addressing the gathering, the minister said, the nation is celebrating the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and the government has organized several programs across the country wherein crores of people have participated.
भारत पर तंत्र हुआ पर मिट न सकी स्वराज की चेतना, उठी स्वाधीनता खोने की वेदना, देशभक्ति की धुन में वीर योद्धा बढ़ चले, नारी शक्ति जाग उठी, वनवासी भी हुंकार उठे।
Heavy rains lashed many districts of Rajasthan during the past 24 hours. A record 260 millimeter of rain has been recorded in Sri Ganganagar, which caused flood-like situation. Rain has broken the record of the last 44 years. In view of the heavy rains in the district and the forecast of the Met Department, the district administration has closed all government and private schools in Sri Ganganagar city till further orders. Here's more from our correspondent.
Heavy rain lashed the Sri Ganganagar city, due to which houses and shops were flooded. Power supply was disrupted in many areas of the city and many houses were damaged. District Collector Rukmani Riyar told that water is being extracted from the low-lying areas with help of army and SDRF teams. There was heavy rain in Bikaner and Jodhpur district too. Udaipur, Sirohi, Rajsamand, Pratapgarh, Jhalawar, Chittorgarh, Alwar, Dungarpur and Jaisalmer districts have also recorded heavy rainfall at isolated places and very heavy rainfall at one or two places in the last 24 hours. The Met Department has issued a warning of heavy rain in Jodhpur and Bikaner divisions in the next 48 hours. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
In Telangana, Army joined relief activities as water levels in River Godavari touched 71.1 feet and Badri Kothagudem district is witnessing the worst flood fury. Though the rest of the state got respite from incessant rains, flood fury intensified in Bhadradri Kothagudem. Hyderabad Meteorological Center has predicted light to moderate rain likely at some places in the state for the next 2 days.
In badminton, ace Indian shuttler PV Sindhu defeated Chinese Ha Yui by 17-21, 21-11, 21-19 in the quarterfinals of the ongoing Singapore Open tournament. The double Olympic medalists will face today Saina Kawakami, the Japanese world number 38, who forced an upset by stopping Ponpavi Chochuang of Thailand. Saina Nehwal lost to Japanese Aya Ohori by 13-21, 21-15, 20-22, while H.S. Pranoy lost to Japanese Kodai Naroka by 21-12, 14-21, 18-21 in their quarterfinal matches. In the men's doubles category, Indian duo of Arjun M.R. and Dhruv Kapila lost to Indonesian pair Muhammad Ahsan and Hendra Setiawan by 21-10, 18-21, 17-21 in the quarterfinals. Amid tight security arrangements, a fresh batch of 5,838 pilgrims left from the Bhagwati Nagar base camp Jammu in 223 light and heavy motor vehicles early in the morning towards the twin base camps of Nunwan Pahalgam in Anantnag district and Baltar in Gandarbal district.
बाबा अमरनाथ बम बम भोले हम में उनमें हम बाबा अमरनाथ बम बम भोले हम में उनमें हम चढ़ते पर्वत कदम कदम डमरू डम डम.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature was 25 degrees Celsius and maximum will be 37 degrees. Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature was 25 degrees Celsius and maximum should be around 29. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Minimum temperature was 27 degrees Celsius. Maximum should be around 36. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature was 27 degrees Celsius and maximum will be 34 degrees. Srinagar, partly cloudy sky, and Jammu, partly cloudy sky as well, with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Leh will have generally cloudy sky with the possibility of rain or thunderstorm or even dust storm. Gilgit will have rain or thunder showers would occur towards afternoon or evening. Muzaffarabad will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Vishakhapatnam will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain. Hyderabad will have generally cloudy sky with light or moderate rain. Bengaluru, generally cloudy sky with light rain.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. The Hindustan Times reports that government is expected to bring new legislation to regulate digital media in the country. The publishers will now have to register with the Press Registrar General. Lanka PM becomes interim president. Protesters want him gone too, is the Times of India headlines. Sri Lankans are now waiting for lawmakers to elect a new president on 20th of July. Let India export food grains from public stocks, says Finance Minister at G20. India could help in reducing hunger or food insecurity, that's a report in Business Standard. The Economic Times reports that brands are now roping in social media influencers in regional languages to popularize their products in smaller towns and villages. Delhi University's Miranda House holds first spot for the 6th time as Best College of India, according to National Institutional Ranking Framework NIRF rankings for 2022. IIT Madras retains top spot among institutes in the country, says The Hindu.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Bundelkhand Expressway at Kaiteri village in Jalaun district of Uttar Pradesh this morning. Lok Sabha Speaker convenes all-party meeting today ahead of monsoon session of Parliament beginning Monday. PDP Chief Mehboob Mufti's sister Rubaiya Saeed identifies Yasin Malik as a kidnapper in 1989. Central Teacher Eligibility Test CTET to be conducted in December this year. Ranil Wickremesinghe sworn in as interim president of Sri Lanka. US decides not to impose sanctions against India under its stringent law for purchase of S-400 missiles from Russia. And in badminton, PV Sindhu to face Saina Kawakami of Japan in women's singles semi-finals of Singapore Open today. Well, for details of these stories and more, you may log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.